So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about some highlights and features of the grades kindergarten to grade 8 Manitoba Mathematics Framework. The framework document, or what we sometimes refer to as the curriculum document, is this green document here. It's not very thick and it has a spiral here on the side. So just a little bit of a background of where we get all the pieces from is the Manitoba Mathematics Curriculum 2013 is a continuation of the WNCP Common Curriculum Framework from 2005. WNCP stands for the Western Northern Canadian Protocol. As for the Western and Northern provinces in Manitoba, when they came together to decide to have a common curriculum so that university entrance would be consistent across the western and northern provinces, and also that students can transfer between regions and still have a very consistent math program. So that was in the early 1990s that it first came together, and then it's continued into the 2000s. They haven't updated in recent years, and in fact, in the last few years, British Columbia and Alberta have decided to go down a different route. But also a few years back, the Atlantic provinces, Newfoundland and Labrador, Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, actually adopted the WNCP curriculum. So mathematics education, with the exception of Quebec and Ontario, is quite consistent across the Western, Northern, and Atlantic provinces right now. So going back to this document, I'm going to show you a few things that are really good for teachers to see when they first take a look at this document here. I'm going to start here on page 7. I'm looking at what they have here called the Conceptual Framework for Kindergarten to Grade 9 Mathematics. And it gives an idea of all the ideas in the curriculum, all on one page. They have the 4 strands on the left side: number, patterns and relations, shape and space, and statistics and probability, being threaded throughout kindergarten to grade 9. They have the nature of mathematics here on the left-hand side, and this is just some main themes that you see over and over and over again throughout the curriculum. But at the bottom here, we have these mathematical processes, and there are 7 of them. I'll come back to that in a minute. But my predecessor used to say the mathematical process in this picture is holding up the curriculum, so that this is what's keeping everything afloat, are these 7 pieces. So if we continue on to page 11, it's in more detail here exactly what those 7 pieces are. And those 7 pieces of these processes are communication, connections, visualization, problem solving, reasoning, technology, and mental math and estimation. Those 7 pieces are the way we teach mathematics through, that we're supposed to make connections amongst outcomes, amongst grades, and see how each one of these topics are threaded throughout. We teach through problem solving. We have to make sure we visualize and reason consistently, and that students use communication and technology, and mental math and estimation is key all the time. So it goes into details here on page 11. Make sure you have a look at that. Also on page 17 is the instructional focus, and this is where it talks a lot about this balanced numeracy program. It's not just drill or worksheets or lectures, but you have to adapt your math program to the diversity of learning styles and cultural backgrounds for students in Manitoba. So I want to make sure you direct your attention there. Starting on page 20 is where we get into this sort of map of all the outcomes. And this is how we name each outcome. The outcome KN1 has 3 pieces to the outcome name. You have the grade, here's K for kindergarten, N for the number strand, 1 for the outcome number. So outcome KN1 are these words here. I'll talk about the outcomes more in a moment. But KN1 has these capital letters at the end, and it refers to those 7 processes that I mentioned before. The outcome 7N2 is grade 7, number strand, outcome 2, and there are capital letters referring you back to there. So if we're in a different strand, for example here, patterns and relations, 7PR7 would mean grade 7, patterns and relations, outcome 7. So that just gives you an idea of the way this looks, and it actually spreads out over to 2 pages. You have kindergarten here on the left-hand side going all the way over to grade 9. The outcomes actually don't connect going left to right. It's not this document that does that, but it just lays it out left to right for you. And in the best way that you can see how that looks is on page 46. These are all of the data analysis outcomes from grade 2 to grade 9, and it's just all there on those 2 pages. You don't need to keep flipping. That was the whole idea, but it kind of got mixed up in this document, but it's still there for your use. However, if you turn to page 52, this is where the document really gets into its detail. You have 2 columns here for every grade. This is on page 52 is where kindergarten begins and grades 1 to 8 follows. But I'm just going to show you the way each one of these pages is laid out. On the left side is the specific learning outcome, and all that means is that it is expected that students will. And out of that outcome number KN1, this is the outcome that is expected that students will show. And the following on the right-hand side is the achievement indicators. These are the following set of indicators that may be used to determine whether they met the outcome. And it gives a little more detail on what that outcome looks like. Now, in kindergarten, each of these will probably be shown to show that students have mastered the outcome. But as the grade gets up, there's a little bit of choice that you may have to see whether or not students know the outcome. So that's a little bit of the highlights of the kindergarten to grade 8 math outcomes and the curriculum framework of outcomes. If you'd like some more information about that, the Province of Manitoba website, you can go to edu.gov.mb.ca. On the left-hand side, click kindergarten to grade 12 mathematics. Kindergarten to grade 12, and then curriculum, and then the center mathematics, and it'll bring you all the information. If you'd like to see more videos and information, go to themathbutler.com.